Attraction isn't some mystical force. It's a matter of strategy. And the truth is, most guys completely miss the mark. You don't make a woman want you by constantly pursuing her. You don't keep her interested by overproving how much you care. And you definitely won't earn her respect by insisting you're a nice guy or somehow different from all the others. If you're stuck in a repetitive loop, always texting first, replying instantly, trying hard to be charming, kind, always available, and yet she still pulls away, goes cold, or simply loses interest, then this video is going to shift your entire mindset. Because this isn't about cheesy pickup lines or pretending to be confident. We're going deeper than that. This is about your moves, how you carry yourself, how you present your energy, and how you position yourself in a way that naturally sparks attraction. No chasing, no begging, no performance. We're tapping into what Machiavelli might teach if he were alive today. Not about playing games, but about maintaining quiet, unshakable power. Because in the world of relationships, real power doesn't plead for attention. It doesn't chase or try to persuade. It simply is calm, grounded, uncommon. And that alone creates pull. This isn't about manipulation, it's about clarity. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't demand respect, he commands it. A man who generates tension just by being present, not by forcing it. A man who doesn't need to be chosen, because he's already chosen himself. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 Machiavellian principles of attraction, ideas that will reshape the way women perceive you, both in person and online. We'll break down the specific behaviors that create magnetic pull instead of pressure, desire instead of neediness, intrigue instead of boredom. And by the end, you won't just realize why your old approach wasn't working, you'll know exactly how to shift it. Let's dive in. Rule number 1. Be the guy she can't figure out. Here's a lesson most men never learn. Predictability ruins attraction. When she can guess exactly what you'll say, how quickly you'll respond, or how you'll react to her story, you lose your edge. The edge is mystery. Machiavelli put it simply, people don't respect what they fully understand. They respect the unpredictable. So when you lay all your cards on the table, when you overshare too soon, when you're constantly validating her without her earning it, she doesn't feel intrigued, she feels in control. And the second she feels in control, she stops chasing. So in real life, don't be the guy who spills his entire 5-year plan on the first date. Don't send good morning texts every single day when she hasn't even shown steady interest. And definitely don't follow up immediately if she hasn't replied in 4 hours. Give it air. Reply when it makes sense. Let silence do some of the talking. Because when she's unsure of what you're thinking, she starts thinking about you. That's power. Rule number 2, online presence. Your digital footprint should feel rare and valuable. If she sees you posting every hour, reacting to every story, leaving thirsty comments on every reel, your vibe isn't attractive. It's exhausting. It screams, look at me. Here's where you channel Machiavelli. Perception is power. Online, restraint speaks louder than constant noise. Less visibility, more impact. One well-crafted, high-value post. A sharp, intentional profile. A story that actually makes her stop scrolling and think. That's all you need. You don't want her reaction to be, oh, he's always online. You want her to pause and wonder, what's he up to? That doesn't mean you should disappear entirely. It just means your presence should feel purposeful, like it reflects the man you're growing into, not someone desperately trying to validate himself. Use your content to highlight your life, your values, your journey, not to air out every thought, emotion, or craving for attention. In a world where everyone's shouting, silence is seductive. Rule number 3. Stop justifying everything you do. Machiavelli once said, the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Now let's take that concept a step further. In your world, the way you present yourself around women teaches them how to treat you. If you're constantly explaining yourself, apologizing for every little thing, or insisting you're not like the others, you put yourself in a submissive role, where she becomes the judge and you become the guy seeking approval. That doesn't create desire. It creates tension, the wrong kind, and eventually, boredom. Picture this. You say something a little edgy, and she raises an eyebrow. That's not your cue to spiral into damage control. Just flash a knowing smile and say, you'll figure me out later. She asks why you didn't text back right away. You respond with, I don't rush anything I actually care about. See the difference? You're not defending your pace. You're owning it. Confidence doesn't come from being the loudest guy in the room. It comes from being at peace with not needing to explain every move you make. The man who doesn't scramble to clarify himself, he becomes the mystery. And mystery pulls people in. Women don't chase what's perfectly understood. They chase what they can't quite figure out. Rule number 4. Be emotionally disciplined, not emotionally desperate. Yes, you're allowed to feel. You're allowed to care deeply. You can even have a soft side. But when it comes to Machiavellian attraction, one quality separates the magnetic from the needy: emotional control. If she says something sweet and you instantly melt. If she takes a step back and you start spiraling, overanalyzing, chasing to fix it. If her cold mood sends your entire emotional state into a tailspin. That's not passion. That's reactivity. And in Machiavellian terms, you've just handed her control of the dynamic. You've revealed that your sense of peace depends on her behavior, and that gives her leverage. Once the dynamic shifts and she senses control, everything becomes lopsided. She stops putting in effort, and you're left doing all the heavy lifting. Instead, start practicing emotional selectivity. Praise her when it's truly earned. Don't throw energy at someone who isn't meeting you halfway. Reflect what she gives rather than giving blindly. This isn't about pretending not to care. It's about protecting your energy. Stop giving 100% to someone who's only putting in 40%. Need an example? If she suddenly starts texting you with cold, one-word answers, don't react with a long emotional message. Just slow your responses down. Match the vibe. If you ask her out and she bails last minute, don't argue. Don't plead. A simple, no problem, and you move on. That's strength. Attraction doesn't come from being overly accessible. It comes from making her wonder how much of you she actually gets to experience. Rule number 5. Build your own gravity, so your time feels like a privilege. This is the rule that rewires everything. Most guys start chasing the moment they get bored. They have too much time and nothing meaningful filling it, so their entire emotional world orbits around a girl they barely know. But here's the thing: Machiavelli would have found that laughable. Because the most potent form of attraction happens when someone can feel that your life is already full and you're choosing them, not needing them. When you're building something, whether it's a business, a skill, your health, or your mindset, you move differently. You stop texting just to fill the silence. You stop throwing out compliments hoping to get one back. You stop seeking validation because your purpose is already fueling you. And women notice that. They can tell the difference between a guy who's simply available and a guy who's got a mission. Online, this shows up in your content, what you post, and how often. In real life, it shows up in your body language, how you walk, how you speak, how you spend your time. When your life already speaks for you, you don't need to act mysterious. You already are. Now let's take all of this and make it practical. Because ideas are nice, but unless you know how to live them, nothing will actually shift. Here are some real-world scenarios, both online and offline, where these rules make a visible difference. Pay attention to how the energy changes, just from the way you choose to move. In real life, picture this. You're out on a date, and she throws a subtle challenge your way, something like, you probably say that to every girl. Don't jump in with a defense. Just give a slight smirk and say, I don't actually talk that much. Flip the script. Shift the power. Online, she leaves your message on read. Don't spiral and send 3 more texts. Just go quiet. Post something valuable. Let your silence carry weight. Let your absence say something. In a situationship where she starts pulling back and you find yourself giving more, that's your signal to protect your energy, not to punish her, but to uphold your standards. At the gym, in class, out in public, don't try so hard to stand out. Be calm. Be composed. Be present. Women notice subtle cues more than you think: posture, stillness, focus. That grounded energy draws far more attention than showing off ever could. Before we close this out, there's one final insight you need to hear, and it's the piece most guys never internalize. It's the exact reason they end up chasing endlessly and wondering why nothing sticks. If you only remember one takeaway from this entire video, let it be this. Power doesn't chase. It doesn't plead. It doesn't perform. It shapes the space around it. And when you stop trying to earn a woman's attention and start moving like someone who is already chosen by your own purpose, your own peace, your own identity, something powerful happens. She senses it. She feels the shift. She starts responding to you instead of you reacting to her. Because you're not showing up to beg for attention, you're showing up with gravity. So stop asking, how can I get her to like me? Start asking, how do I carry myself in a way that naturally draws her in? How can I be so emotionally anchored, so intentional with my presence, that she can't even explain why she's thinking about me? That's not luck. That's not magic. That's strategy. If any part of this hit home for you, don't just keep it in your head. Drop a comment, even just a short one. It helps lock in the insight, and it might help someone else out too. Tap that like button if this resonated, and send this to someone you know needs to hear it today. Trust your instincts. We're all working to become sharper, calmer, more unshakable. Let's build minds that don't break.